Boom. The universe has ways of knocking you down. This game has ways of making you feel like your manifestations, like your dreams, like your direction is not working. And situations will present themselves to make you believe that the inner work you're doing, the goals, the dreams, the things you're working towards are not materializing. Now, the reason I bring this up, and a big topic of the last few days for me on this channel, has been all centered around things not necessarily going the way that you thought. Because in my own life, guys, a lot of things have not necessarily been going the way that I thought they would be going. Now, in these moments, you're going to think thoughts of, why isn't this working? The vision that I had is not materializing. The things that I'm dreaming of, the realities I wish to manifest are not coming to me. This is the exact moment, the exact uncertainty, the exact perfect place to be before your greatest ascension. Before the doors open that you thought they would never open. Before everything aligns perfectly for you that you could have never imagined it to be better than it was. The reason I bring this topic up is because I have repeated a similar cycle in my life so many times. So many times for me, it has looked like nothing was working. So many times for me, it has looked like I was going to fail. It has looked like nothing was going to materialize. Every single time in these moments, I lose a little bit of hope. Every single time in these moments, I reach a point where I realize maybe I don't have as much control as I thought. Because for a very long time, you move in this manifestation sphere. And you think in terms of law of attraction, you think in terms of frequency, and you try to bring these beautiful things into your life without realizing that a lot of times for me, when I'm truly feeling these things, when I'm truly walking in the frequency of confidence, in the frequency of my dreams coming true, 9 times out of 10, life looks very good for me at that time. 9 times out of 10, when I'm feeling my most confident, when I'm feeling very sure in my direction and my frequency, things are already in motion and working very well for me. And then something happens that brings me back down to a so-called reality. What I have realized every single time that these situations present themselves in my life is I get to a seeming breaking point. I get to a breaking point where I surrender. I surrender to the plan. I surrender to the universe. I surrender to the all. And guess what usually happens? Things start to align. Things start to align in ways that I never thought were going to align. It's almost as if this tight grip that you have potentially on seeing the things you desire come to you, on seeing the plan work out that you so thoughtfully laid out. You thought everything was going to perfectly fall into place. And maybe the universe even tempted you a little bit with some breadcrumbs to say, look at this, it's going to work. Oh my gosh, it's so perfect. Oh my gosh, it's so perfectly aligned. Wow. How could it be? It has to be. It has to happen. So you develop this energy around these things coming into place. You develop this energy around seeing the results, seeing everything align. And look at how it falls apart. Look at how it ends up not manifesting, how it ends up not working. Now, this is an energetic shift that you have to realize is very powerful. You have to realize that a true surrender to the plan doesn't look like doing nothing. It doesn't look like not applying for any jobs if you're unemployed. It doesn't look like no action and just surrendering in your bed all day, scrolling on the phone endlessly. Dopamine, dopamine, dopamine. Realize that building up these cycles and reaching these new heights only to realize that, I have to surrender again, is all a part of the evolution. So if you're in a stage where nothing seems to be working out the way you want it to, and following the frequency work and following the visualizations, visualizing that beautiful beach house in your mind and all of your loved ones around you, only to realize that that is such a distant thing. Only to realize that in a way, the universe will always work. It will always work for you. Your main frequency should be one of no attachments. Do not attach to these outcomes. Operate from a place of no longer being emotionally tethered to seeing reality change. When you operate from pure surrender, from realizing that the plan is not going to look like you want it to look like, but all in all, that plan will give you exactly what you need, exactly what you want when the timing is right. Realize that when you operate from a no attachment, surrendered frequency, you become incredibly magnetic to the things you desire. This is the most difficult rule of the universe. This is the most difficult rule of the universe to actively incorporate into your life. Because when things are working so well and things start to materialize, you start thinking, wow, I did all of this. I brought all of this into my life. I did the work. I got the results. I made the money. I did the whatever. I got the job. It was all me. You are a microcosm of this entire universe. There is a fragment of God within you that is operating this vehicle. Surrendering becomes incredibly magnetic to the things you desire. This can be seen especially in dating today. When you are initially interested in someone, let's say you have a fantastic first date. Things go really well. You both have similar interests. You're thinking, wow, maybe this could be something. And so you start to put an attachment on that person. You start to reach out in a needy energy. You start to want to chase, to want to get them to like you, to want to get them to approve of you, to want to get them to fall in love with you. Now, this may not look like on a first date, or maybe you have experienced this from the opposite version, where someone has needy energy to try to get you. Whatever the case is, realize that it's likely maybe that person is experiencing someone else who doesn't have this needy energy, who realizes their value, who knows the direction that their life is headed, and who realizes that I don't need this person at all. If this thing completely ended today, I might be sad, but the reality is my life is beautiful. The things that I'm working towards are incredible. Someone in this game is destined to love the shit out of me, because look at the direction I'm going. I have no attachment to this. I have no attachment to this person, which in turn causes an effect on that person who is interested in you. They in turn start reaching out more. They in turn want some time with you. This isn't a mind game. This is far from toxic. In fact, you should be operating in all facets of your life in this way. Now, of course, you show genuine interest to want to connect with someone, but you're never acting from a place of needy energy. You're never acting from a place when you go into a job interview of latching on to them and trying to get them, I need these people, I need this. Some people might, and for some, maybe the job situation is a different example. But all in all, you see how the universe will respond to a pure surrender. And it's not a giving up. It's not a frequency of giving up, but it is a frequency of letting go, and it is a frequency of surrender. This is a beautiful lesson in my own life right now, because I feel the beautiful cycle is returning. The beautiful cycle of last winter, making all my videos about diving into the shadow, feeling very low, feeling like I was just living sort of the same life every day, like I was just going through the motions. I'm sure those of you out there can relate. And then, boom, it was like I surrendered to the plan and realized how small I really was, and gave it all up. I just said, you know what? You've got the plan. I'm not trying to orchestrate anything anymore. It's all going to be aligned. And boom, I got an opportunity to solo travel for 6 months around the world. And now the cycle has returned. And I'm back in Gringoland. Back with similar circumstances. Of course, I'm reaching for things and I'm building things. But the reality is that I have to surrender again. And it's hard to surrender when you come from a place of thinking, of living so high. Like, this was the best time of my entire life recently. And when you're living on that high horse and feeling so aligned and feeling like everything is just too good to be true, and you come back to this cycle, you have to surrender again. So hopefully this message finds the right ears. Peace.